Welcome to Campus Dining and Shop's Sexual Harassment Training. This is a New York State required training. My name is Megan and I am joined by my colleague Haley. The purpose of this training is to set forth a common understanding of what is and what is not acceptable in our workplace so that all employees can recognize discrimination and understand their rights to a safe workplace. The information given in this training is provided with guidance from the following: federal law, specifically Title IX of the Civil Rights Act, and state law, specifically the NYSHRL. At the end of this training, if you have any questions or concerns, please contact the Human Resources Office at 716-645-7308 or by email to fsa-hrrequest@buffalo.edu. In this training, we will review the following: what sexual harassment is and reporting sexual harassment. Let's get started.
What is sexual harassment? Sexual harassment and discrimination are phrases that we have all heard and may mean different things to different people depending on their life experiences. But there is a legal meaning that sets standard we all need to understand and follow. Sexual harassment is any behavior that subjects an employee to inferior conditions of employment due to their gender, gender identity, gender expression, perceived or actual, and/or sexual orientation. Harassment and discrimination are often intersectional, meaning other identities, including an individual's race, ability, or immigration status, may impact their experience with gender discrimination in the workplace. How we identify affects how we perceive the world and how the world perceives us. It is especially important for all employees to be aware of how words or actions may impact someone with a different experience than their own in the interest of creating a safe and equitable workplace. Sexual harassment is a form of gender-based discrimination and is unlawful under federal, state, and local law. Sexual harassment includes harassment or discrimination on the basis of sex, gender, sexual orientation, self-identified or perceived sex, gender expression, gender identity, and the status of being transgender. Sexual harassment is not limited to sexual contact, touching, or expressions of a sexually suggestive nature. Sexual harassment includes all forms of gender discrimination, including gender role stereotyping and treating employees differently because of their gender. Sexual harassment is unlawful when it subjects an individual to inferior terms, conditions, or privileges of employment because of their gender, gender identity, or gender expression. There are two categories in which sexual harassment falls. The first would be hostile environment sexual harassment. Such conduct has the purpose or effect of unreasonably interfering with an individual's work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment, even if the reporting individual is not the intended target of the sexual harassment. Hostile environment sexual harassment is unwelcome sexual behavior that has the effect of altering the conditions of a person's employment and creates a work environment that a reasonable person would find abusive. May also include displays or publications, electronic forms of harassment through social media, verbal comments and jokes, or physical forms of harassment, unwelcome touching or fondling, or sexual violence. This includes hostile acts taken because of an individual's gender, gender identity, or gender expression. Hostile environment situations could be, but are not limited to, harassment in person or electronically through social media, email, or other forms of communication, in or away from a work facility, while traveling for company events, while attending social functions on or off campus, including holiday parties, events, and gatherings. The second category would be the quid pro quo section of sexual harassment. These are such conduct as made either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of employment, or submission to or rejection of such conduct is used as a basis for employment decisions affecting the individual's employment. Quid pro quo sexual harassment occurs when someone in a position of authority, such as a supervisor or manager, offers or provides employment or benefits in exchange for sexual favors or a sexual or dating relationship, threatens someone with a negative consequence if they don't agree to a relationship, uses pressure to coerce a relationship, or punishes someone for refusing or not responding to requests for a relationship. Please refer to Campus Dining and Shop's Employment of Relatives and Non-Fraternization Policy for guidance on consensual relationships.
What can you do if you witness harassment or discrimination happening? The following are 5 methods of bystander intervention to use when witnessing harassment. A bystander can interrupt the harassment by engaging with the individual being harassed and distracting them from the harassing behavior. A bystander who feels unsafe interrupting on their own can ask a third party to help intervene in the harassment. A bystander can record or take notes on the harassment incident to benefit future investigation. A bystander can check in with the person who has been harassed after the incident, see how they are feeling, and let them know the behavior was not okay. If a bystander feels safe, they can confront the harassers and name the behavior as inappropriate. When confronting harassment, physically assaulting an individual is never an appropriate response. Everyone is to comply to the sexual harassment policies, and anyone can report sexual harassment. Supervisors and managers are responsible for reporting and addressing sexual harassment. Supervisors and managers are held to a higher standard of behavior and responsibility. They are required to report any harassment reported to them or which they observe, including any information given to them about harassment. They are to take all of the information they have received in one form or another and report that information. They are responsible for any harassment or discrimination that they should have known about with reasonable care and attention to the workplace for which they are responsible for. This is to be done without downplaying any situation to those who are reporting or that they are reporting any information to. Supervisors are subject to discipline for failing to report suspected sexual harassment. Supervisors and managers must accommodate the needs of individuals who have experienced harassment to ensure the workplace is safe, supportive, and free from retaliation for them during and after any investigation. Supervisors are expected to model appropriate behavior. Within reporting, it is important to note that people who report and object to sexual harassment have a legal protection against retaliation. Retaliation is any negative action that alters an employee's terms and conditions of employment because that individual engages in protected activities. Protected activities could be those of reporting sexual harassment, assisting others in reporting, or participating in any investigations. Retaliation could present in these forms but are not limited to these: a sudden change in work schedule or location, demotion, attempts to intimidate or harass the person for having come forward. However, actions that are taken because of the complaint are not considered retaliatory.
Finally, anyone who experiences sexual harassment can report this to Campus Dining and Shops as well as external agencies. If you are harassed or know of someone else being harassed, it is your responsibility to report this to your direct report as soon as possible. Follow the complaint resolution procedure for this avenue. Employees can also submit a complaint anonymously via the complaint form. For any criminal acts, you can call the University Police at 716-645-2222 or local police for off-campus crimes. Individuals may also file complaints with external enforcement agencies or pursue action in a state or federal court. External agencies include the New York State Division of Human Rights, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. These agencies do have timeframes for filing a complaint. There is also the Sexual Harassment Hotline at 1-800-HARASS-3. In addition, employees are able to call 1-800-427-2773 to seek free legal counseling regarding potential complaints of sexual harassment in the workplace, or to receive assistance submitting a complaint regarding such harassment.
Campus Dining and Shops Sexual Harassment Training. All of Campus Dining and Shop's policies in relation to this training can be found in the employee handbooks. After this video has concluded, complete the required knowledge check and confirmation for this training. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, please contact the Human Resources Office at 716-645-7308 or fsa-hrrequest@buffalo.edu.